Soul of Durban's Indian community, a place where stories are woven into the fabric of its bustling markets, historic buildings, the people, and that has shaped our legacy. From the towering Juma Masjid Mosque to the majestic Emmanuel Cathedral to the iconic tea rooms and shops that have stood the test of time. The Casbah, more than just a place, it's an experience. It's a life that seems to have faded away into memory. This will evolve into a regular Friday evening series on the show, and you can share your memories and experience and family stories with us by calling in or sending us a WhatsApp, which we will read out on the show.
Tune in to Let's Chat on Radio Ansaar and enjoy the stroll down memory lane together. Let's Chat this and every Friday at 9 p.m.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is Friday night and it's Echoes of the Casbah. Are you with me, Buddy Govender, and
myself, FAIZAL MJ SULEMAN. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم سيدنا محمد وآله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. All praise due to Allah, the Lord, cherisher, nourisher, sustainer and master of the universe, the most gracious, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Ya Allah, it is on you that we worship and it is your guidance that we seek. Ya Allah, keep us on the straight path. Ya Allah, show us the choice of blessings. Ya Allah, show us your mercy. Ya Allah, guide us. Greetings, salam, salutations on our beloved Nabi Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Buddy, another beautiful evening.
Absolutely. The weather's coming in a little bit today, but what a great week it was. Beautiful yesterday as well for Eid, and lovely day for everybody. But yeah, we are again, Faisal, talking about the Casbah, and I must just say, Faisal, every week meeting people, bumping into the people, they all are so keen on the show.
Yes.
Last week's show, we spoke about all that sweetmeats. Oh my word. And everywhere I went, people were like, oh, how was that show? What about the sweetmeats? What about this?
In fact, yesterday I met a few people as well, and on the table, and we were just talking about sweetmeats and how we took them back to those days.
Yes,
and there was somebody was telling me that one of the persons you spoke about was my grandmom.
Oh, okay.
And I remember being in the kitchen with her and preparing the stuff and doing this and doing that. Precious. It was amazing.
Of course.
Amazing.
Yeah, and thanks all to everybody for those comments as well. Great show last week. But today we got something very special as well, Faisal, because we speak about the community, we speak about the Casbah. One of the things that we always mention that's always equated to the Casbah is family.
Yes.
Okay, family. And the one thing that we do know in the Casbah, Faisal, is that family isn't necessarily people that are related to you by blood. Am I right?
Yes.
In the Casbah, we were one big family.
And now even visitors became family.
Well, there you go, Faisal, because today we are talking about, do you remember the borders? All the people that came from little towns or Johannesburg, because the university was only here.
The university was here. Many of them didn't have high schools in their little towns as well.
Absolutely.
And then they came and lived with us, and they became part of the family.
Absolutely. Yeah. And for many young students who came from towns far beyond Durban, the Casbah was like a second home to them. And families opened their doors. Suddenly, Faisal, strangers became borders, and borders became family, isn't that? So today we're talking about borders, and I know of people that had borders, and I wouldn't differentiate from them as not being part of their family. I thought they were part of their family. So we'd like to know from you, do you still keep in touch? Did you have borders? Did your parents have borders there? Faisal, the WhatsApp number?
060-904-1056. Yeah, 060-904-1056.
And you can phone us as well on
0861-904-904. I can't do your writing, buddy.
Okay, 0861-904-904. We'd like to hear from you. Remember, this show is interactive. It's not us just talking. And I do know because, again, Faisal, I must tell you, a few people at Eidgah yesterday at Orient, they just held my hand and they just smiled. And they were those ones that I know that are not going to call, but they are listening. And they're so happy to hear. So we'd like to hear from you, about borders. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about borders. You want to talk about anything Casbah-wise, we would love to hear from you. But like we said, families opened their doors, strangers became borders, borders became family.
But buddy, I'm glad you chose a topic like this because there's many people who are boarding in Durban, and when I met, they listen to the show, on streaming and things, on Facebook, etc.
Okay.
And they also enjoy the show because it brings back memories to them.
There you go.
I never thought for a while. For me, it was just those of us that were living there. But it goes well beyond that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we want to acknowledge those people. Because, Faisal, I think we've learned from looking at student accommodation today and looking at the borders we had then. Oh, man.
Different.
Chalk and cheese.
It was those borders that used to use the Victoria Street Library, that used to use the Gandhi Library. And we all used to be together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And within the Durban Casbah of yesterday, borders were more than just students seeking shelter. They were actually people that were woven into our community. Because, Faisal, for years we walked past or with these people, never realizing that one day they're going to go back home.
They're going to go back home.
We just took it for granted. Many of them came from towns. A lot of them came from cities like Johannesburg, Pretoria, because the university was here. And you know what, Faisal? They carry the hopes, they carry the dreams of their families. Their families dreamt of an educated son. And of course, these boys and girls came out here and families opened the doors and made a room for them. Now, Faisal, boarding in the Durban Casbah was simple. It was simple because sometimes it was just a spare room, a spare bed, a spare bed in the same room that was already occupied by the boys or the girls of that house.
Yes, depending which board.
Am I right? Exactly.
Because that's where I learned the term board and lodge.
Board and lodge.
That's where I learned the term.
And then the other thing was that meals were all shared on the same table. Everybody ate together, so there was no differentiation between you a boarder and you eat somewhere else or you eat after that. And when you boarded, you became the family member.
Exactly. In fact, if the family was invited out for a meal or something, the boarder was part of the family.
Well. He was.
Yeah, a message comes through. It says, Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I met Faisal at the Orient Eidgah.
Okay.
I was a boarder at a friend's house in Pietermaritzburg in 1960. Good experience at a sports crazy family. Fantastic.
Talking about sports crazy family, that's a good one there because there's quite a few people boarding from Johannesburg or Lenasia at that time here at UKZN, or not UKZN, sorry, Westville University. That were professional footballers. Prega Thunderant.
Okay.
He played for Bluebells.
Yes.
And he was boarding in Durban, training with the Durban, but played obviously for his team there. So, yep, indeed. And when Bluebells United played Manning Rangers in the Cup final, I think it was 1977.
Yeah.
The stadium, Curry's Fountain, was packed.
I'm sure.
With university people, all the borders, they were there. So, we're talking about those people that shared our family lives and lived with us, slept in the same rooms as us, ate on the same tables as us. And as you quite rightly say, when we went visiting, they went visiting as well. They were part of the family. So we'd like to hear from you and find out, already we got that one. So, Faisal, were you at Orient on yesterday?
Yep, I
was there as well.
I'm surprised I didn't see you.
We always at Orient for Eidgah. We've got a beautiful tradition.
Yeah.
Well, it may be beautiful, but it's actually getting a bit sad.
And I think I know what you're going to tell me about.
We take a photo of all the town boys.
All the town boys, yes.
And the photo used to be like
massive.
50 people.
Yes.
I think yesterday we had like 25, 22. We've lost a lot of brothers.
Yes.
We got a caller on the line. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. How are you guys?
Nice to hear from you.
Eid Mubarak to you guys.
And to you as well. Tell us about your memories of the Casbah.
Buddy, let's talk about town. I remember West Street, we used to walk down. And now you can't do that.
But keep those good memories in your heart.
When last you been to Overport side?
I'm often there. It depends whereabouts.
I've been there last week. You couldn't walk down, my friend.
You can't, no, definitely. Don't even think about it,
It seems like that all over. But, just keep the memories of the old days in your heart. And
I remember the Unit 1 park. I was actually born there.
Okay. That's in Chatsworth.
Correct, 100% FAIZAL.
Okay. Oh, great.
I'd like
Jazakallah
to
for
say
that.
thank you for the lovely show that you guys do
Excellent.
on weekends.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
I tried to call you last week, but you were not available to take it.
No, Jazakallah for the call. You take care. And Assalamu alaikum. Eh?
Have a good weekend, guys.
Thank you.
you.
Salam.
Assalamu
There you
alaikum.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Good memories all around by people, Faisal. So, tell me, do you have any memories of borders in your vicinity?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, as I told you, I used to virtually live at my uncle's home in Prince Edward Street.
Okay, yeah.
And his neighbors had borders, at least 3 of them. And they were even part of our family in the sense that, the bond of everybody in the building was so great that these borders were even part of our family.
Absolutely.
And it was like amazing.
Yeah. Friend of mine,
In
a
fact,
very...
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I met one of these guys
Okay.
about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
And I met him by chance. And I looked at him and I said to him, you are so-and-so. And he said, are you Faisal? I said, yes.
Oh, wow.
But I knew you as a little boy in short pants. I said, yeah. I've now grown out of the short pants. I wear long pants.
And a lot of those borders back then are today the doctors and the surgeons.
Yes. This guy was a chartered accountant.
Exactly, accountants and lawyers. They put in their shift and took the sacrifice and look.
I met him at a function.
Okay.
And we ended up at the same table.
Oh, wow.
So we spent the next 2 to 2.5 hours just reminiscing over the past. And it was amazing, buddy.
I'm sure.
Everything we speak of on the show is what this guy spoke of. So it was part of his life.
But isn't that what we're talking about, Faisal? We're talking about part of life.
Memories.
We're not making up stories here.
Yeah.
We've got a message, I think, Brother M.H. Osman.
Yep. Go for
He
it.
says, Salams, Faisal and Buddy Bye.
Walaikum
Salam. He says, always a pleasure listening to you guys. Back in the days, borders in Overport ended up master Tani players too. And they also got to know about Bunny Chow and loved it.
Good old days.
He says, good old days, MH.
MH loves his bunnies.
He loves his bunny.
You must
Chow,
mention that
and he's
bunny.
the favorite one.
Salams to a message from Sister Sadia says, salams to Brother
Walaikum
Buddy and Brother
salam.
Faisal. Walaikum salam. Hope you're well. Lovely topic. It brings back such beautiful memories. My aunt had borders, and till now we're still in contact with them.
Go.
They're all retired teachers. Salams and duas from Sadia.
Oh,
Of course.
fantastic. Absolutely. Retired.
Yep.
Hey, that shows how time has just flown by.
Yeah.
And we were saying, if you can picture this, Faisal, because I had a very, very, very good friend living in Cross Street. Okay, and they had borders, and a modest flat, but they had borders there. There's 2 guys, and we were so close. It was like I would have taken it that it was that guy's brothers, both of them.
Yep.
We had such good memories of these guys, and then all of a sudden, life puts us in different directions, and they're gone.
Yeah.
And then we don't hear from them for a while, and then, like you say, you'd bump into one of them, and like, I know you, and then immediately you just hook up again, and boom, you just gel. Incredible.
These days, you get the number, so you're in contact via WhatsApp or something.
Absolutely, yeah. Back in the day, you didn't. Once they're gone, they're gone. And like we said, sometimes it was just a spare bed in a room that was already occupied by maybe the son of that family, or even 2 sons, and then there was a boarder still sleeping in it, or 2 girls, and there was a girl. The meals, we had the same meals as everybody sharing, and we ate on the kitchen table, so
take it one step further. The mothers even made lunch for those borders too, like they made for their own children.
Exactly. And what was so good about it was the camaraderie between the boys. You have this laughter, and you would have this. Message comes in, he says, hi Buddy and Faisal, I was a boarder in Durban town. My landlady spoiled me. I had to tell her what will be served for supper on a particular day.
Wow.
She introduced me to a family as part of her family. One day she introduced me as a family member and said that we would make an excellent match as life partners. We eventually got married. Mashallah. Isn't that just, Faisal?
It's beautiful.
You know what? We got some, we touch on real things here in the Casbah. That is such a beautiful message. Thank you very much for that one, and Allah bless you and your
family
as well. That is absolutely.
And I know why that message is anonymous. It's because the landlady did the intro.
He got a lot to thank to his landlady. But like I said, you were saying they were family.
They were family, yep.
Absolutely. In 1990, it cost 10 Rand a day, 300 Rand a month for a bed and a breakfast.
Okay.
So you wouldn't get that. And let's be honest, Faisal, because that 300 Rand was not including the love you got from that family, the inclusiveness that you got from that family.
Home away from home.
Home away from home.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And what about when sometimes families of the borders visited them?
Oh yes,
they also stayed.
They were in the, like it was you having people, you were cooking for them, and there you go.
Salams, call back the past, guys. My aunt in Fakhruddin building, corner of Cross and Prince Edward Street, Mrs. Julie Jadwit kept student boarders who loved and adored her. She was like the surrogate mother, and Uncle Isub Jadwit worked for Ideals. Maybe you knew him. Good program reminiscing about the golden era. Most homes kept a stretcher for unexpected visitors. This comes from Sister Aisha.
Sister Aisha. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think I'm not. Zain Jadwit was one of my best friends. And that flat you're talking about, I used to, as I spoke about, I used to sit upstairs with Zain on that patio, whatever it was, and we used to have a competition on football. And quite surprising, Faisal, on Sunday we had a Sastry College old boys. I arranged a get together. We called Faisal. Zain. We called Zain. And he's in Birmingham.
In Birmingham, yes. In fact, I chatted to him yesterday.
That's right. He's not doing too well at the moment.
So Allah, just make Allah gives him shifa, inshallah.
Ameen. But what a great guy. But there you go, indeed.
Emmett says there was absolute love and respect with borders. It was not about money.
Absolutely. And Brother Junaid says, we appreciate you. Please tell us what was December time like in the Casbah, Christmas.
Yes.
Absolutely. We had a show about that, but we'll have a few more. But, when we come to December, okay, first thing when it comes to December, your borders are gone home.
Yep.
Okay, let's keep the theme of the borders going. So when it's December, universities are closed, schools are closed, so the border is gone home. You sort of got a big space in your room now, Faisal. You have more time, you have more space in your room.
And you're allowed to make noise because the border is not studying.
Absolutely. But the only thing was December, the times of the shops were extended now. So you'd have shops open till 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock as well in the Casbah, Faisal.
Yes, and things are buzzing.
Street, 8 o'clock in the night, Friday night. Shops were open, things were buzzing as you'd put it. So it was great. It was lovely to be in the Casbah. Good Hope Centre was a buzz because there was all these Christmas trees in the courtyard because Ram Brothers were selling. And Faisal, who was the people that would be buying a lot from Ram Brothers were whites.
Okay.
They would come, people that time, it wasn't like you couldn't come into the area. They would be coming in, parking their car, coming in, buying their flowers or buying their Christmas trees. We were on holiday. We were all hanging outside, Faisal. You were there with us as well at times. Outside by Ansaar's. We had a great time.
Absolutely. Junaid wants to know, do old people still go to town on a Saturday morning? No way.
I'm not sure, Junaid. I think that to answer that, maybe there's not necessary to go into town anymore. And then secondly, I don't think they would want to venture into town. It's quite busy. But now we were talking about the families in town as well that had borders. From my personal experience in that friend of mine's home flat where they had the borders, Faisal, we had such a wonderful time. Sometimes we would come back from school and just sit in the room and it was just laughing, talking, and just good, clean fun.
Absolutely. And I'm sure they would have been converted to English football as well.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Because if you were with Zain, then you had to talk about Arsenal.
Okay, this comes from Brother Hussein. Salam's buddy and Faisal. Salam. In the 90 years, I used to go...
In the 90s.
In the 90s, okay. In the 90s, I used to go shopping in Grey Street. Gingers, of course. I paid 19 Rand for my first pair of Jack Purcell tackies and 22 Rand for a Pringle shirt, and I'm sure you'd have probably paid 35 Rand for a London Fog jacket, which I still have. He says, and that next door is Patel Moon Doll Bunny.
I'm sure MS will be very excited. He's been going on about it for a while now.
With this guy, but that's right. 19 Rands for Jack Purcell. You know what you pay for it now? Pringle as well. Thank you very much for that one. Now, another thing about it, Faisal, because you tapped on it, was that in the morning, again, we spoke about this, and I keep telling my son this year, and I keep telling youngsters this year, we had one bathroom and toilet.
Yes.
Nobody got late for work or anything. Okay? Today, Faisal, we have 2 or 3 bathrooms. Always you in the car waiting for them to come. Somebody is getting late. But then before we used to get up early, the boarder would get up early. He would be... There was like a sequence of who goes into the bathroom. Maybe it's your dad first because he's got to go to work. Then you would get in. And then they would come out. And the one thing that strikes me about the boarders, Faisal, and it wasn't just the boarders, it was us as well, how neat they would dress, man.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
You know, do you remember Chiefy?
Yes, very well. Very well.
Kamda.
Yes, very well.
That's right, from Victoria Walk. That's right.
Yes.
And then Chiefy was one of those guys who coached me as a football, Avalon Celtic, as a youngster. I love that guy, man. And I didn't realize he was a boarder. I thought he was from Durban.
But was he a boarder?
Yes. He's from Johannesburg. Yeah, I think yes.
Oh, yes, okay.
Yeah, again, there you go.
Yes. In fact, I really thought he was part of the family.
There you go, Faisal.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'm saying. And if you look at these guys walking around town, they were never shoddy.
No.
They were never looking dodgy. Everything was neat. Again, we didn't have much. We had everything. You know, these guys were neat. And then we would sometimes walk to the bus stop together because they're going to take a bus from Peter Street to Westville. So we're going to school. So we would walk with them, meet up afterwards. You know, Mum would make lunch for all of us. 300 Rand a month. Come on, you know, it's like that's what you are getting from these ladies and these fathers and mothers that open their doors to these boys and young men and young girls was just goodwill, Faisal.
Absolutely,
it was goodwill. Let's be honest about it. We didn't have space.
No, I'm just thinking
they made a space.
They made a space. Yeah, they made a space.
We didn't have abundant food.
No, but
there was enough for everybody.
Yes.
And then the student as well looked after the place.
Yeah.
You know, didn't just abuse and use and
definitely.
Bring friends over and drinking and loud music. Today it's a nightmare, Faisal.
It is, definitely.
You know, I hear from people in town.
Also lots of these boarders were family members as well.
Yes.
You know, I mean, your cousin lives in Johannesburg and they want to come and study here. So the first port of call is your home.
But Faisal, also, we got to be straight up with this here. They were brought up well, man.
Oh, yes.
You know, let's not take it away from the parents as well. They were brought up well. There you go.
Let's see, M.H. Osman says, 2 weeks ago I was in Johannesburg and I was telling my daughter-in-law and grandson that back in the days up to the 90s, all shops had to close on a Saturday at 1 p.m. and Sunday every shop was closed. That's how our family tradition was roti on Sundays because there was no fresh delivery of bread on a Sunday. Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
And then Queen Street and Prince Edward Street became Highbury and Wembley Stadium because of the lack of cars. We played on the streets.
Yes.
So, we're talking about borders. We're talking about everything Casbah-wise. We'd love to hear from you guys. 060-904-1056 or you can call in 0861-904-904.
اللهم صل وسلم على نبي محمد اللهم صل وسلم عليه سبحان الله والحمد لله لا إله Ya Rahman,
Okay, so it is now 32 minutes after 9 o'clock. You with me, buddy Governor, and
FAIZAL MJ
we're
Suleiman.
talking about echoes of the Casbah. Today we're talking about borders. And you know what? We can always get things wrong as well, Faisal, because this topic is there's such a thin line between a border and a member of the family. And we got a message that came in here and it says...
Chiefy Kamda was not a border, he was a Durban, a part of the Osman Spice family.
Exactly.
Well, apologies.
So we didn't know that. So my apologies as well, because I was with Chiefy quite often. I really did think he was a border at that time. Message comes in from Sister Razia, says, Assalamu alaikum. Alaikum salam, is Razia Kudus. I remember Dr. Shaista Hamid, daughter of Ramesh Hassan Saib, was boarding in Alice Street in the CBD with a Gujarati family while her parents lived in Lesotho. She never wanted to see moon dal and roti anymore. It was coming out of her ears. That's how much she was fed. Beautiful days though. Oh, that's beautiful.
Absolutely. Message from Sister Zina says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To answer Brother Faizal's question, do old people still go to town on Saturday mornings? No ways. Yeah, in Chatsworth we got the Bangladesh market in Westcliff, and that's where most Chatsworth people go. Alhamdulillah, town is not safe anymore.
Yeah, of course. And the person who sent the message about Chiefy Kamda, please tell Chiefy to get in touch with me. I'd love to hear from him again. We've got a caller on the line. Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi barakatuh. How are you?
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Great. Who am I speaking
My
to?
name is Harun.
Harun. Assalamu alaikum.
I'm from Johannesburg.
There you go.
And I've always been from Johannesburg for 4 generations.
Okay.
And I matriculated in 1973 in Joburg. And then I came to Durban to study. And I was in Durban from 1974 to 1981.
Okay.
There you go. So
I stayed many places.
So you know exactly what we're talking about.
Sorry?
You know exactly what we're talking about.
Yes, because I'll tell you also, because I stayed in Queen Street, I stayed in Carroll Street, and the best part of my time was when I stayed in Conservative Street, next to Ansaar Cafe.
Okay, upstairs.
Yes, next to Bob's was at the bottom.
That's right. That's right. Exactly.
It's a funny story also, because we were, me and my cousin, we were studying in Durban, and we used to go to the race course to go run around.
Yep.
And we came back one day, and as we were going past, there were a couple of guys hanging on the corner. And they said, "Hey, you Josie Lighties, where are you coming from?" So we said where we were coming from. And then the next thing they said, "Okay, you guys play football?" I said, "Okay, yes, we do play football." All right, pitch up on a Wednesday. And that's how I came associated with Prince Stars.
Prince Stars. Okay. Excellent stuff. There you go.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're talking about, the boarding situation. You are living proof of that, my brother. Thank you very much for sharing that.
I stayed in many places. My first place I stayed in was on top Radio Supermarkets
Oh, yes.
in Overport.
Sparks Road, yeah.
And I had to take 2 buses to Wentworth and come back 4 buses a day.
Wow.
And then I stayed in Queen Street on top of Osman Spice Road.
Okay.
I stayed in Good Hope Center.
Oh, what years? What year were you in Good Hope Center?
Prince Street for 3.5 years, where I made my lifelong buddies that we still meet up together all the time.
What year were you in Good Hope Center?
I was there only for 6 months, probably around 74, 75.
Ooh,
I would
so
say.
you would have been...
No,
you would have been-
76 around there.
You would have been walking past me every day.
Maybe.
Right.
But I used to be hanging around
Sorry.
on the cheeky boutique corner in the afternoons.
Okay.
And I made such wonderful memories.
Of course. So,
Excellent.
well, thank you very much.
And I shared a flat with other students. And we used to also go table boarding elsewhere.
Oh,
Excellent.
I must say some of the best years of my life.
yeah,
Excellent.
And Jazakallah for listening to the show as well. We certainly appreciate that.
Okay.
You take care of yourself. Assalamu alaikum. Salam.
Okay. Wa alaikum salam.
Yep, well, we're talking about borders and stuff like that there. And like we said, borders were not, they were usually people from out of town, from smaller communities who came to Durban to study at the colleges, the university. And the role in the communities were much more than just temporary residents, Faisal. You know, like we said, they carry the hopes of their families, often being the first generation to pursue higher careers.
Yeah.
You must remember during the 60s that we spoke about last week, the families that had shoemakers, or the family that was a whatever it was, owned a tea room. Back in the 50s and the 40s, the sons took over. But when it came to the 70s, the families then realized that the sons maybe wanted to become doctors or lawyers or something else, and they were going to break away from that tradition. So they were carrying the hopes of these families, and these were, like I said, the first generation to actually pursue higher education instead of following through the family things. Then also, you know, you mentioned that boarders didn't live in isolation. They weren't just like in a room by themselves. They were part of the family. They joined in the daily life. Sometimes they also had duties to do in the house.
Yes, of course.
You know, chores, and they would also go to the shop for the auntie, buy the bread, buy the milk. Then they would also go with the family for Juma prayers or a wedding. Even though maybe they didn't. Well, after a while, they started to know the people.
But they were part of
because they were part of the family. So they played a big role in that. You know, all those type of things.
Okay. Message comes, says that Burka Kala lived in Prince Edward Street. Okay. Another message comes, says salams from Anonymous. Just to remind everyone that we lost Mani Al, the owner of Patel's Vegetarian Cafe, a noble people's person who always fed the poor. We did quite a tribute to him last week.
Salams, if you listened to the show last week, we had a tribute to him last week. Definitely a people's person of the Casbah as well.
Undoubtedly.
And then we were saying, Faisal, that because these guys came from out of town, they also taught us things, Faisal. They taught us how life was in areas that we didn't really know. How life was in Lenasia, for instance. You know, we would take it for granted the library was within a walking distance, whereas in Lenasia, probably
it might not have been the same.
Exactly. But also we got to know different
places,
dialects.
Yes, I was just going to say that. You know, I know we used to tease the guys from Johannesburg,
like, you know,
their fancy.
Somebody would come up and say to us, like, you know, where when you get the taxi. I'm like, what?
Can you borrow me something? I said, I can't borrow you. I can lend you.
And they would tease us as well. Because we would be with all our y'all and all and all.
And what about our slang? They picked up our slang
off the light. So, you know, we learned these things. And in that way, we became this diverse community in the Casbah, even more diverse.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, we weren't just now Muslim, Hindu, Tamil, Christian. It was now Johannesburg, Pretoria, Rodofontein,
Washbank, Woodbank, you and
exactly.
There's places, names of places you learned, you heard for the first time you didn't even know existed.
Exactly. Verenigen. We wouldn't have known it existed. We were never taught those things at school until you came across.
You didn't know how to even pronounce Verenigen.
And then think about it, Faisal. Coming talking about it now. It's only now we're realizing what a big role those borders played on us as we did on them. It was a cross-cultural exchange of stuff. And then for younger children in the Casbah, remember also, borders were like role models to us. I know in Gandhi Library, sitting there and laughing at my friend Muhammad Chuan, and you get this shh in the back, and hey, keep quiet. And there was this guy that we would know, we would respect him, and he was one of the borders as well. But we would get these people, and we could see how intent they were on their education. They inspired us. Basically.
Definitely.
So, you know.
Salams. I went to CBD Durban about a week ago. Noticed that APSA and Nedbank close to business at corner of Gardner Street. That's Anton Labile, Gardner and Smith Street. That's Anton Lambeda Street. Jazakallah.
APSA and Nedbank. Corner of Gardner and Smith.
Anton Lambeda.
Shops are just closing down.
But you know, these new names today, for us, is very confusing.
Absolutely. Now, Faisal, the role of the family who actually took in the borders. Let's talk about them for a little bit. You know, as much as we got the borders, there was these people that opened their homes to people they didn't know. Maybe you were asked by somebody in Joburg to say, I got this nephew of mine coming down. You didn't know this youngster that's coming down. You may knew that guy, and you didn't even know him very well. And you would come down, or you would get a boarder that's currently living in and he's got a brother come in. And he would then speak to his friend's mum and say, please, auntie, would you mind? You know, these people, as we would turn them today, hosts or guardians, they provided shelter, they provided meals,
Security.
they provided a safe environment, absolutely. And they treated the boarders like an extended family,
Yes.
like a cousin that came here,
Yeah.
even though we didn't even know that
Exactly.
person.
Yeah.
After a while, they were related to us, Faisal.
After a while, yes, they were part of the family.
And you know, beyond the academics as well, the host also taught the boarders on how you go about living in town.
Yep.
Don't go down that road, or make sure you're home by a certain time.
Yeah.
Don't hang around the corners. How to navigate along the bustling streets. How to respect community etiquette. Greet people. Call them uncle, even though you're not even related to them. And, you know, balance your study with this responsibility, because they now had to come into our community.
Yep. In
And-
fact,
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, you speak about calling friends, and I remember the one family they had a boarder. The next day, his brother came. The next year, that is. The following year, the third brother came. So, like, it's been 3 years. They had 3 guys living, all 3 brothers living together with this family.
Well, but they
in
were all
a
family.
flat.
But then they were family.
They were more than family. yeah.
Exactly. In a flat.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not using a fancy word of apartment. I'm using the word flat. Yeah.
We got to take our hats off to these people, Faisal.
Yeah.
These uncles and aunties and mums and dads and aunties that open their homes to the thing. Big respect to them, Faisal.
Huge, of course.
Massive respect to them, you know.
And you must remember, you've got some third parties. I can't use the word invasion, but your privacy is affected as well, because they're in your home.
Yes. But there was respect, Faisal.
There was respect.
You
huge
know,
respect.
the border never disrespected, didn't just go and do his own thing.
No. He worked within the confines and within the your rules and regulations, although they were not spelled out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, there's another thing that we didn't really know, Faisal, was that family also provided a support system for that youngster.
Yes.
Remember, this boy came from his home. He's now living with strangers, so to speak.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm sure the first couple of weeks she must have got
Huge
very
depression.
homesick.
Yes.
Huge depression. And these families and mums probably could see this youngster or young woman sitting in the room looking depressed, and they must have made a little soup and took it to them. You know our mums, Faisal. You know there's mums, man.
Yes,
There's
absolutely.
something else. And try to guide them and help them through these challenges. That's something that we don't talk about today.
Definitely
It's
not.
never been brought up. Because you didn't just come from Johannesburg, left your family, and you were fine.
No, definitely not. You were depressed. You were upset.
Absolutely. And then you remember also, by taking on borders, we strengthened the ties between Durban and those outlying communities.
Yes.
People
we
respected. Exactly.
We built new families there.
Absolutely. We created new networks. We created new extended families. And like the gentleman said, you got friends and family till you die now.
Like if you went to, for example, to one of these towns where these borders came from, you 9 times out of 10 went and lived at their place,
Yes.
their parents' home,
That's
or their
right.
home.
If you went there.
When you went there for a holiday or whatever,
Absolutely.
and from there those relationships and ties and that built up. You see?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is a bigger animal that we're just talking about.
Yes.
What we took for granted back then, okay, there was a border, he stayed here, he studied at Westville, finished his studies, he left, he went home. It wasn't just like that. Now,
I remember I used to get very thrilled when they used to tell me that we're studying at Salisbury Island and we take a ferry
Yes, the ferry.
take a ferry.
Oh,
And they had to wear suits and go to
I
varsity.
remember that,
They had
eh?
to wear, put on a
Yes.
tie and a coat.
But didn't we admire those guys?
Yes, of course
We
did,
looked
yeah.
at them like,
Yes.
wow, look
Yeah.
at that.
Yeah.
You're right. I do remember that. But when we look at this whole thing between the borders and the people that took them in, it's nothing but admiration and respect. Because let's look at the other side of it, Faisal. If you were a mother or father and you had a boarder living with you for 2-3 years, which some of them did live, when they went home, that must have broken their hearts as well.
Oh, yes, it was. I remember because I say all of us in the building became very close.
Absolutely.
I mean, came December and when these guys qualified, etc., when they home, we were heartbroken.
Exactly.
We were upset.
It must have been a major, it must have been like losing a son or a daughter.
Yeah.
Even though the other way it worked when they came here, the real mom and dad lost their so-called.
Yeah.
But now when they go back, It's like losing.
And then, when you get a new border, it takes a bit of
time to adjust.
You know?
Yes. Because you were so used to the other one.
Yeah.
And that person was used to your way of.
Exactly.
And like I said, with my friend in Cross Street, they had the borders there, and I was often at their flats, and there was a football weekend. And these borders weren't playing football. They would probably just come in there but they were also involved in the weekend.
In the game. Yeah.
It says another message coming in, and it says, me living with my granny in 1983 while the rest of my family was in Lenasia. Would that qualify me as a border?
I think, yes, we can put you in that category.
Yes, of course. Now that we've actually broken down that a border is actually like a member of the family.
Yep.
You were a bit lucky that you were living with your grandmom.
But I think a border nonetheless.
You went back home.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope that you did enjoy living in town at that time. It must have been quite a nice thing to be able to walk into West Street, to walk to the library, walk to Osman Spice Works and buy your curry powder, walk to the market, or walk to your friend's flat, and life then was young. But now let's just come into today, Faisal. We've got borders. I mean, I'm hearing horror stories from town. Music that is bumping throughout Ramadan. Partying, bottles,
drugs,
drinking, screaming in the middle of the night. I cannot even fathom out life like that in that area, because when we lived there, after the hum of cars after 5:30, 6 o'clock, it was silent.
It was just the ball bouncing downstairs.
Exactly.
That's all.
Silent.
Yeah.
And nobody even said you had to be quiet. You just were mindful of your neighbors.
Absolutely, yes.
Today, I don't know. But yeah, we're talking about borders, we're talking about all those things, and, we basically touched on a lot of stuff that people didn't realize. Border leaving home, being homesick, being looked after by their new parents, so to speak, creating new friends that became brothers or sisters, then leaving, going back.
Then there were also a lot of students who used to get together and hire a flat.
Yes.
Especially in the Warwick Avenue area. There are lots of students who live there as well. And they were adopted, if I can use the word, by many of our families.
Yeah.
Because they probably studied with us at varsity, and they came back into town, and then we call them for meals and things like that.
That's what I was going to get to.
Yeah.
Whilst they had their own flat, Faisal, they didn't run a mock in the flat.
No.
In fact, the neighbors around there also supported them, sent them stuff.
Yeah.
They integrated into the family life.
Absolutely.
It weren't just like, well, we here now, there's a party on Saturday night. And
No, they respected everybody. They respected neighbors, and they respected themselves, which was most important.
Absolutely.
And I was quite close to quite a few of them.
Which building was that? Haji Musa?
No, it was Himalaya House.
Oh, yes.
Was that if I recall correctly?
Himalaya House, yeah.
There were quite a few borders there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And sometimes you had to be told that there were borders, because you would have thought they were from here. Like I said, Chiefy Camdow, what a guy. I mean, I really thought he was from out of town, but
exactly.
You're right, they were from that Osman Spice Work family as well. And Faisal, today, do we still have people boarding?
I don't think so. I think you get the odd guy, but I don't, because throughout South Africa, I mean, you've got access to universities, access to schools, etc. Previously, because of the apartheid regime, you can't get access to schools, access to varsities, etc.
Or maybe just for the jobs these days.
Yeah, now it's made and then they don't board. They generally go in and hire a flat or something to that effect.
Yeah. Things are more lani now, isn't it?
In fact, I should stop using the word flat. You use the the more politically correct word, apartment.
I remember also, Faisal, when it came to examination time.
Oh yes.
The border was now going to be studying. The family that he was living with
had to respect that.
They did respect that. There was like quietness.
The mother will get up.
Him. Make sure he's got tea at 11 o'clock in the night. Get up at 2 o'clock because you could see the little light on. Go and check if he needs anything. That is just special, Faisal.
Yeah.
And they would study by a lamplight, a small little light, because in the room the others are sleeping.
Others are sleeping there as well,
It's amazing, you know, that these families took them in and offered them the food, the shelter, the love, the whole thing about familyness. And I'm sure today a lot of boarders that are, and FAIZAL, we're talking about now retired professionals that were boarders, not just they professionals now.
Yeah.
But I'm sure a lot of them probably have got fond memories of these uncles and aunties that are no more.
Yes.
You know, that have passed on as well.
Definitely.
Oh well, FAIZAL, what are we talking about? We're going to have to chat again, because I think people wanted to know, what do we do? What was town like during Christmas? So we'd like to know from you as well. You know, anything you want us to talk about, let us know. Drop us a line.
You know, I thought we would be discussing how we spent Eid in those days. You know, we've got about 5 minutes, so you can touch on it if you want to.
There wasn't there that whole rumor with the bull running loose in Grey Street?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, but you know, you're right, because next to Good Hope Centre there was a house.
Yes.
And in the backyard of that house they would slaughter. And I remember all of us going down the fire escape and sitting there and watching them do that, you know.
Yeah.
Your memories of Eid?
Oh, excellent. In fact, it was something else. You know, living in the building, in the morning, all the mothers going, you know, with the trays to different flats, exchanging goodies. We putting on our best, you know, kurtas and that, going to the mosque, coming back, and then of course expectantly meeting all the elders, because you're going to get your little tikkie or your sixpence, you know what I mean? And then of course the unique thing was that we were in that time called Hussein's building. They used to slaughter upstairs in the roof garden.
That's right. Yes.
And the one day I remember,
yes,
the one sheep jumped
fell
over,
from the top.
from the top onto the floor roof of the bank.
That's right. Barclays Bank. Next door. Yeah.
And the next day they brought in two to slaughter.
FAIZAL, how did they take the sheep up in that lift?
Yes.
There was two lifts.
Remember? Yeah. They took it up in the lift.
So they brought it through the arcade.
No. That time there was no arcade.
No, but the entrance of Hussein's building was in Queen Street. There was no arcade, but it was still like a little passage.
Like a little passage.
And then you went up.
Yes.
My word, eh? Sure.
The lift took it up, and then from the 10th floor, they took it up the steps to the roof garden.
That's right. It didn't go to the top.
No, the lift stopped on the 10th floor.
And if I remember that roof garden in Hussein's building, did it have like little ponds at one time?
Yes, it had ponds in there,
yes, like little ponds.
Yes, we had our own swimming pool on top.
There's a message coming in there.
Comes from Sister Mariam. Salam's brothers, walaikum salam. What about boarders who had to travel to Salisbury Island, to the only campus for so-called non-whites? I had cousins who came from Johannesburg and had to accommodate that routine. Shukran, Mariam.
Oh, FAIZAL mentioned it.
Yes, I just mentioned that. Yeah, how we used to be thrilled when they told us we went by ferry.
Absolutely.
You know,
And Sister Mariam, maybe you just missed it, but FAIZAL touched on it, and we were talking about how they would go with the ferry. And not just that, but how impressed we were that they were taking a ferry.
Yes.
And FAIZAL, they were dressed in
a coat and a tie.
In a suit. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. They had to be dressed to the nines going across to Salisbury Island, and it was the only campus for non-whites, eh?
Yep.
What was it, a medical campus or?
No, not medical.
Not law.
It's commerce, law, etc.
Commerce and law. A lot of the activists came out of there. Yep, indeed. Yeah, and so they would take those sheep upstairs and slaughter them right upstairs. They were slaughtering all over. In the middle of the mosque, there was that grass patch.
Yes, they should do it there as well.
Remember the courtyard? They would do it there as well. That was where they would also dish out the halim during Ramadan. We would all queue up there with our pots.
You got very fond memories.
Absolutely. I got fond memories of that, because I was there like every day waiting for our halim.
And there was a special sort of a pot you used to take.
Yes.
I can't recall what it has a nice name. I can't recall the name.
Were they getting their halim from manjaras around the corner?
I'm not sure where they were getting it from. At that time, lots of them used to just make it on their own too.
You know what I'm quite keen to find out, FAIZAL, is manjaras still around?
Their descendants are.
In that same...
No, I don't think they're there anymore.
I'm going to go there one of the days next week.
Do that. You can risk it.
You know, walking down that passage, when you in Cathedral Road, then you turn into that passage. When you're walking in that passage,
that aroma
you're walking back in time.
Yes.
Don't you feel that?
Definitely.
Not only are we walking back in time, you're walking back into another country like Morocco.
That's when you're walking on madrasa.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely. Well, Faisal, it's time for us to
Round up, I think.
round up, and I hope that all of you there enjoy the show. Thank you very much for always listening, and all the people that listen from Johannesburg, I know from overseas, some people are listening as well. We certainly appreciate you, and we thank you very much for taking the interest and sharing your memories of the Casbah with us as well.
And thank you. I think we're back with you tomorrow. I'm back at 8 o'clock in the morning on Rise and Shine. And buddy, you're going to be kicking off?
That's right, because it's World Cup in 12 days time, 13 days time, and we're going to be talking about that. But tomorrow night we have the Champions League final, Arsenal, Paris Saint-Germain. So that'll be a good one.
Is Arsenal going to take the double
on that. Yeah, I would like to say not double, the treble.
Treble. Oh yes.
No, English clubs have won all so far. Crystal Palace, Aston Villa. Now it's up to Arsenal to win the last of the European. If Arsenal wins tomorrow, English clubs have won all the European titles for the first time ever. So
are they going to do it?
A message comes in. I'm quite interested. It says something about Manjaras. Oh, Manjaras Cathedral Rose closed down a long time ago, man. My heart just dropped for a second there. Oh, well, Faisal, thank you.
All right. So, I think that's it, buddy.
Yep, indeed. Salams and...
okay, I think for myself, Faizal MJ Suleiman and Buddy Govender.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.